Hello, welcome. Let's look at nitrogen cycle. What is nitrogen cycle? It is actually the continuous circulation of nitrogen between the free gaseous nitrogen in the atmosphere and the combined nitrogen in the proteins of living tissues. So that is nitrogen cycle. The continuous circulation of nitrogen between the free nitrogen in the atmosphere and the combined nitrogen in the proteins of the living tissues. That is nitrogen cycle. You recall that the atmosphere is made up of 98% nitrogen. And also, our living cells, the proteins, are also made up of nitrogen. So we have the nitrogen in the air, and you have the one that is in the body of living things. So how this nitrogen moves from the free one to the combined form in other compounds is known as nitrogen cycle. The atmospheric nitrogen is converted to nitrogen compounds in a nitrogen cycle. During thunderstorms, the nitrogen of the air combines with oxygen to form nitrogen 2 oxide. The nitrogen 2 oxide reacts with air to form nitrogen 4 oxide, which is washed down during the rains to form triosonitrate 5 acid. The triosonitrate 5 acid reacts with the metallic ores and salts in the soil to form triosonitrate 5. Nitrogen is absorbed from the soil as a dissolved nitrate by the roots of plants, and this is the only manner in which the vast majority of plants can absorb and use nitrogen. So nitrogen is actually absorbed from the soil in form of dissolved nitrates through the roots of plants. It is certain that unless nitrogen is continually supplied to the soil to balance the loss suffered by removal of crops, the fertility of the soil will decrease and its yield will become poor. So as the plants are tapping the nitrogen in the soil through their roots, and this nitrogen they get it because this nitrogen is actually dissolved in form of nitrates. So the soil needs to get replenished with other forms of nitrogen, and they get it when there is acid rain falling. So this movement is actually what we call nitrogen cycle. Now, in addition to the removal of soil triosonitrates by plants, some soil triosonitrates are also reduced by denitrifying bacteria to gaseous nitrogen, which then escapes into the air. So these are the two ways whereby the soil lose nitrogen. It can lose it by normal plants taking it, or by the action of the nitrifying bacteria, converting nitrogen to gaseous form of it from its normal form where it is in compounds. Now, nitrogen is also returned to the soil by the decay of plants and animals. You see another way the soil gets nitrogen, apart from the one that comes through acid rain and through thunderstorms. We have also through the decay of plants and animals, the soil can also get nitrogen because these plants have already taken the nitrogen through their roots, so they are already composed of nitrogen. So when they die and decay, the nitrogen in their body goes back to the soil. By nitrogen, and this decay can be done by nitrogen fixing bacteria which are present in the root nodules of leguminous plants. Now, nitrogen which has been taken up by plants and animals is returned to the soil in the form of excretory products and dead materials. So those are the other ways nitrogen can get back to the soil. And I said earlier that this movement of nitrogen from the atmospheric free nitrogen to the soil in form of nitrates back into plants, then animals consume the plants. All this movement is known as nitrogen cycle. So nitrogen cycle is just the detailed way through which free nitrogen in the air through thunderstorm forms nitrogen oxide. Then further reaction with air forms nitrogen 4 oxide. Then combination with rain forms acid rain, which gets to the soil through nitrites and through the roots of plants, get inside the plants from the soil. Then when these plants is eaten by animal get this nitrogen. When these plants and animals die, they take back their nitrogen back to the soil. Now there are bacteria called the nitrifying bacteria. They also take some of the nitrates, nitrogen in form of nitrate, back to the atmosphere. Whereas the nitrification or nitrifying bacteria help to get nitrogen from dead plants and animals back into the soil. So this total movement of nitrogen to and from the atmosphere through the soil into the body of plants and animals is known as nitrogen cycle. Please, if you like this, hit the subscribe button. If you have any question, drop it on the comment section. Please like and share our videos. Very important thing to note in nitrogen cycle is that it is the continuous circulation of nitrogen between the free gaseous nitrogen in the atmosphere and the combined nitrogen in protons of living tissue. Need to know the work of thunderstorm in converting free nitrogen in the air to nitrogen 2 oxide, which then reacts with more air to form nitrogen 4 oxide, which is washed down during rains to form triosonitrate 5 acid, which reacts then with metallic ores and salts in the soil to form triosonitrate 5, which are the nitrates. So these nitrates are absorbed through the roots of plants. They get into the plant body. Animals feed on these plants. When these plants and animals die, those nitrogen get back to the sun, to the soil. Also, there are denitrifying bacteria that can convert uh, the triosonitrates in the soil back to gaseous nitrogen, and this escapes into the air. Nitrogen is also returned to the soil by the decay of plants and animals by nitrogen fixing bacteria present in the root nodules of leguminous plants. Nitrogen which has been taken up by plants and animals is returned to the soil in the form of excretory products and dead material. So this is the summary of nitrogen cycle. Please, if you like this, hit the subscribe button. Thank you. God bless you.